Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel. This is your one and only Stepbro, and I'm going to review the Concept 1B. I know it's a bit late, the Concept 1B has been out for a couple of days, but it is better late than never. The Concept 1B is currently in the store for crates. If you are willing to gamble on the crates, I would suggest getting the 4,000 gold bundle for 3 crates. You need 30 charms to get the vehicle if you do not get lucky. So be wary of what you are spending on to get this vehicle. Make sure you have a limit, you know how much you're willing to spend. But if you do have the vehicle or you do want to know more about the vehicle, and then this is the review for you. So we're going to take a brief look at the statistics of the vehicle. So you can see HP 2491, not the highest, not the lowest, still pretty decent. Hull armor is really good. Turret armor is really good unless you turn over to the sides, and then you'll see that's going to be really bad for you. Damage per minute 2850. We are using gun rammer, not calibrated shells for that 8-second reload. I do that so I can bully mediums. However, you can use calibrated shells, and that will help bring up your AP pen, APCR pen to 271, your heat to 341. And that will help you deal with like IS-7s and 60 TPs running armor buff on the vehicle, which can be pretty annoying when you're not running calibrated shells. But other than that, the gun should be perfectly adequate for any situation, especially for mediums and whatnot. Average damage, you're only doing 380, not 400 for a 120mm gun, but that is fine. 330 on your heat, not 340, but you are still dealing 500 damage on your HE. Aiming time, 3.4 seconds, aims in pretty good. And, dispersion is pretty decent as well, but we are using refined gun. Gun depression, you have 10 degrees, 20 degrees of gun elevation. Because your vehicle is so low to the ground, you might actually struggle bringing your gun up on certain situations, and certain maps. But for the most part, you should be fine. Mobility, you are doing really great. 45 kilometers per hour top speed, 18 kilometers per hour reverse speed. That is really great when you want to pull back, shoot, after you shoot, that's really good. Average speed 33, power to weight 18.1. This is one of the vehicles that I would consider to be a heavium. It is very close to what the IS-7 has. IS-7 has 31 average, 50 kilometers per hour top speed, power to weight 18.8. So if you know how the IS-7 drives, you pretty much have a very good idea of how fast the vehicle is. Turret traverse rate and hull traverse rate, they're pretty decent. They're not the fastest, but you can semi-compete with mediums, except maybe for a light. Equipment, again, I am not running calibrated shells, but it is an option. You only lose about 200 DPM. If you're struggling to pen vehicles like 60 TP, IS-7, if your server has so many people running those vehicles around, you might want to pick up the calibrated shells instead of the gun rammer, but that's a choice each individual player has to make. I'm using refined gun and not vertical stabilizers because the gun doesn't really bloom as much. The gun's super accurate and it aims in really fast, so I don't think you really need vertical stabilizers. That's why I run refined gun, but each one to his own. The reason why we're not running armor buff, we're running HP, is because I tested it out. The vehicles that you should be worried about when you're running armor buff, they can still pretty much get through your turret armor. So your weak spots will pretty much remain the same with or without armor buff for most vehicles in tier 10. So for me, it's a moot point. Don't kind of need it. Engine accelerator, I mean, you can run improved control, but the benefit of adding 1.25 degrees of hull traverse for what you're losing out, I don't think it's worth it. Other equipment, pretty much standard fare. And let's get over to the speed test. Okay, here on the speed test, we are comparing the IS-7 with the Concept 1B. As you can see, the horsepower per ton is pretty similar. IS-7 does have a higher max speed, but you can see the Concept 1B keeping up with the IS-7. So if you've ever played the IS-7, the vehicle should feel the same, at least speed-wise. Okay, we're using a 4202 to demonstrate that the Concept 1B's armor is not impenetrable. You can get through the hatch with APCR. That's pretty normal. Most vehicles will get through that hatch. But now you can see the HESH, right? With the HESH, you can cut through that small gap on the turret. You can cut through the door plate. Obviously, there are some other weak spots. We'll move forward. You can see that side of the hull, that small thing. That is heshable. You can also AP that thing, but it's pretty hard when the Concept 1B is on the move. Other than that, pretty standard fare, right? There are some weak spots on the ball of the turret, which you can get through with Hesh. So be wary, you can get hit by 183s. When you're face-hugging Concept 1B, example for the 422, doesn't mean you have 10 degrees of gun depression, you can shoot down in the upper hull, as you can see. But there are weak spots on the face of the turret, so if he's face-hugging and he's not moving his turret that much, that's easy peasy. But the way you should be face-hugging in Concept 1B is half the vehicle, right? Don't face-hug it flat on, go half on the vehicle. So you can shoot the engine deck at the back. That is APable and that is heshable. Same thing goes for the other side. As you can see, you can hash that spot. You can hash that part of the turret up there. And then certain parts of the turret you can actually hash. All those are penable with hash. Now, this is an STB, different vehicle with 10 degrees of gun depression. And you can see how it's really struggling to deal with a Concept 1B hull down. This is where the Concept 1B is really, really, really strong. When it's on the very minimum, minimal hull down, obviously you can get to the tracks, you can get the lower plate if it pushes up a bit further. But as you can see, when it goes back to its original position, there we go. When it's back in its original position, he can already shoot the STB. No problem. He can shoot through the hull, he can shoot through the turret. The Concept 1B can already shoot you, and you can't do anything. You can get through the hatch with AP, you can, but it's really hard to shoot the hatch. You can shoot that small corner if he gives you enough. He pokes out enough, you can shoot. You can get him track wheel. But mostly if the Concept 1B is in the very minimal hull down position, where it's like only using 6 degrees of gun depression, good luck getting through it. Now, just for comparison, this is a Hori. You can cut through the hatch. Again, at 200 meters distance, you can cut through the hatch. And the upper plate, even with AP, you can cut through. Just not hitting your shots, but you can cut through. The main problem here is that when it's hull down, it's further back, the Concept 1B can already shoot down the Hori. Right? We're just showing it in this particular scenario. You can get through the hatch and some parts of the Concept 1B with any gun, any TD, any big TD. But it's just about, can you actually hit the weak spots? Now, for our gameplay and advice on how to play the vehicle, we're just going to show you some clips of the Concept 1B being used where it should be used. Right now, we're in Dynasty Sparrow. We're hull down on the cap circle thing. And we're just, barely poking out just to shoot the enemy. Right? You don't have to poke out completely. Just use your maximum gun depression, what's available to you, and you shoot down an enemy. That's how easy it is. Okay, the gun aims in pretty quickly. The vehicle does rotate pretty fast. You can see shots, easy peasy. But please be advised that the first 2 clips, I think it's because I'm running calibrated shells. So the pen values might change when the rest of the clips will come out, as I will explain. Look at this. You can pocket side scrape, hit that E75, shoot back, right? The vehicle does have a lot going for it. That gun aims in pretty fast. It's super accurate. At least what I think it is, super accurate. And you can pretty much just go and start farming people using your gun depression. Remember, you don't have to poke over the ridge. The special thing with the Concept 1B is you can barely poke out and still get your shots out. Now on Faust is a better way to utilize the gun. See, I7, just hull down. He can't even shoot you back. That's it. That is what makes the Concept 1B really strong. He can't even shoot you back, and you can already land certain shots. Well, that one we overpoked, so we got double tap, but it happens. See this? When we're pulling back like this, he can't even see our lower plate. He has to over poke, just to shoot us. Right? Clear that one out. And this spot in Faust, the medium hill, this spot is really, really great. There's so many angles on this area, so when you play Concept 1B, I highly suggest going to this side. You can bully enemy mediums, and if you face another Concept 1B, you kind of just have to outplay the other Concept 1B. Remember to go for the Concept 1B's track wheel. That is a major weak spot If you go for the back side of the armor, shoot it in the side and the back side, you might actually get your shot to bounce. It's better if you actually aim in for the front track wheel. You probably get more shots there. Now, I don't think we'll win this game. I don't think it's a winnable game, but the point is using all those weird angles. You see? You know, all those weird angles, using all the terrain to your advantage, you can get some pretty weird shots with the Concept 1B, which you will not get with any other vehicle. Moving forward to a different game, now we're looking at the Concept 1B on the same spot on the other side. You will understand that the I-7 has armor buff. When he has armor buff and now we're running calibrated gun rammer, it will be a struggle for you to penetrate the vehicle even with calibrated shots. That's saying, I mean, just even with heat, it's going to be a struggle for you to pen the vehicle. Unless he's completely flat on or showing his sides, it's going to be a struggle. Even Type 71s will be a struggle if you are running gun rammer like me. However, if you can be patient and aim in for those weak spots, well, not really a problem, is it? As you can see, this particular spot, this particular corner, protects you from the enemy TDs, right? You're hull down, you're completely hull down, and these guys can't really shoot your bottom plate. They can't. He has to shoot your gun, your upper plate. He has to HE you. He can't really get his gun down. This Concept 1B, as I told you earlier, the track wheel is very weak. You can cut through that track wheel pretty easy. Again, here's the I-7. I'm running gun rammer. He's running armor buff. Slight angles like that, you really can't go to the bottom plate. I have to use heat. And for maps like Castilla, you just gotta be, or any other map like Canyon, those with maps with gun depression, you kind of have to play around, find your maximum hull down moment where you can't get shot back, but you can get shots in the enemy, and use that to your advantage. Provide your team with cover, provide them with crossfire. That's pretty much how you should play this vehicle. As you can see here, we have the middle part of the castle held up. We're shooting the War Z in the other corner. Pretty good for us. When you find a place in the map where you can just put your turret out or barely out, that's what you should be doing on a Concept 1B to maximize your vehicle. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you watched it completely, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace!